This is the future.
Hello everyone and welcome again to another Warframe video. So I would just like to follow up on the guide I have previously made about ranking the looter Warframes in the game. I have seen some people confused about the rankings, but I did say that it is based on my personal experience playing the game. The ranking is subjective and I encourage players to comment their own rankings. Also, I think some were confused why Nidus was included in the list, but I have explained it in details with all the builds and reasoning. I specifically said that I ranked Nidus at number 2 since I enjoy farming resources with an ore gaze build and steel path levels. By the way, if you are just looking for the Universal Overguard part of this video, then I suggest that you take a look at the chapters below and skip ahead. Subsuming Atlas Ore Gaze ability is a perfect match with Nidus since my build for the Warframe is more inclined towards power strength. As you all know, Ore Gaze needs 400% power strength to give 100% loot per enemy killed while they are petrified. This can easily be achieved with this Nidus build, paired with the 60% bonus power strength from Molt augmented at max stack. I also said that I enjoy the setup in steel path levels and suggested that you should too since the build requires a lot of stuff and it would not be fitting for normal star chart farming. In addition, Nidus is really fun in steel path levels and beyond because the Warframe is built for endurance runs. With his immortality, you can stay for long hours of endurance runs. Adding Ore Gaze to Nidus adds more reason why to play the Warframe in steel path endurance, as not only you get to outlast enemies, but you also get to farm resources in the process that you can use for crafting your Warframe and weapons, or use those resources in the helmet system. Also, I have briefly explained in the video of why I subsumed Atlas Petrify and replace his second ability. Nidus Larva skill is essential for pulling enemies, and this helps in stacking mutation stacks fast. In case you are new to the game, Nidus mutation stacks increases his health regeneration, the damage of virulence, and it can make you invulnerable for 5 seconds as long as you have at least 5 mutation stack. If you can maintain high mutation stack throughout the mission, then you can turn Nidus into an immortal Warframe. All you need to do is just group enemies with Larva, then cast virulence on the group to gain energy, and as well as mutation stacks. But like I have said in the video, Larva doesn't synergy well with Atlas Petrify ability since those enemies group won't turn to stone, making the Ore Gaze setup pointless. I know some are worried that Petrify won't be that effective in real mission as a farming setup for Nidus, but I am assuring you that it won't be a problem as Petrify will have decent range to affect multiple targets at once. The ability does have a wide cone shaped spread in front, and with the Nidus build, it have a decent 20-meter range. If you are still bothered with this, then you can use the operator arcane called Magus Anomaly to group enemies in place before casting Petrify. You can replace his 4th ability with Petrify, but I like the ability as it gives me that seconds of aggro control when I want to replenish the mutation stack I have lost. However, I strongly suggest that you don't replace his Link ability as it gives you more survivability. In addition, his 3rd will be getting an augment later in the upcoming Dante Unbound update. The augment is called Parasitic Vitality, and what it does gives Nidus and any ally he's bound to gain 4% max health per mutation during Parasitic Link. This is big to Nidus survivability, but the developer noted that the augment won't work with health mods. In the Nidus build I have shown you, I am using Insatiable to get mutation stack fast while my 4th ability is active. Probably this is the best slot to replace it with the new augment, as Insatiable is only for quality of life improvement and often used if you want to go deep in long endurance runs. If you are okay with farming a couple of hours with this setup, then Insatiable is not necessary for the build. Also, I will remove Umbral Vitality in this slot and replace it with Umbral Fiber. Now, the condition of the augment wherein it doesn't stack with health mods as a placeholder, and Digital Extremes might change it before release of the Dante Unbound update. Nonetheless, the Nidus farming build I have shown you is still viable whether you have Umbral Vitality or not. With 2 Umbral mods, I can have as much as 1,495 health in my Nidus right now, but with the new augment, assuming that my calculation is right, I would have as much as 2,600 health at max mutation stack. That is a huge boost in health, and get this, Digital Extremes said that it won't stack with health mods, but they did not mention about health arcanes. If somehow this will stack with Arcane Blessing, then we can get as much as 3,800 health values in our Nidus. The good thing is, with an Ore Gaze setup, we can constantly drop health orbs and achieve the max stack of Arcane Blessing within a couple of seconds. We are just talking about Nidus health values here. Just imagine if he is allied with an Inaros, and just imagine how much health values plus power strength can the Warframe get from the Infested Warframe's Link ability. Also, I don't know if you have seen this, but there was a leak 2 months ago that might shake up the meta in Warframe after Dante Unbound update. Before Digital Extremes revealed the 10 new augment mods, there was a leak at Reddit already showing the new upcoming augment mods for some Warframes. Along with these augment mods are some placeholder mods that might come with the new Dante Unbound update. A warning before we proceed though, take everything that you hear from this point onwards with a grain of salt since the information are just leaks and not confirmed yet. There's a high possibility that Digital Extremes will add these new mods judging from all the leaks in the past that have been in the game, but like I have said, the developer can do a last minute change and may not include include these leak mods. There are 4 new weapons mods, and 3 of them seems to be for projectile-based weapons in Warframe, while the other one is somewhat exclusive for bows. The mods that were mentioned in the leak were Gravity Shot, that increases the projectile shot of charged shots. There's also the Glacial Outburst that fires glacial ice shards to surrounding enemies once you have killed a target. The activation of this mod depends on the cold stacks, and I think this will be super busted for crowd control with cold status. Next, we have Shockwave rounds that increases the projectile size and punch through of you projectile weapons, and the size increment depends on the nature of the trigger, whether the gun is semi-automatic or automatic. And lastly, there's the Ripper Bullets that applies the status effect of the first target to the secondary target behind it. So what this basically means is that if you proc viral into an enemy, then the punch through bullet will apply the same status to the enemies you hit behind the target. It's more on status spreading, and it's kind of interesting to see it with large projectile weapons. But the most interesting mod is the Reinforced Healing, wherein you will gain Overguard once you pick up health orbs instead of the usual heal that it gives. If somehow Digital Extremes decides to make this placeholder mod be a reality in the Dante Unbound update, then this would be big for setup like Orgaze Nidus. 100% loot drop chance from Orgaze means you have high chance of spawning health orbs all the time, and this lets you abuse this new Reinforced Healing mod. The Overguard will be super helpful for the build as it will grant status immunity and another layer of health to Nidus, making the Warframe super tanky. The only downside though is players who rely on mods like Rage or Hunter or Adrenaline won't like this mod, as it will destroy their energy restore setup with tank Warframes such as Nidus, Nisha, or even Chroma. I am hoping that this is a universal Overguard though, and this is Digital Extreme's answer to our request on giving more survivability to Warframes that relies solely on health and damage reduction for survivability, just like Nidus and Eros. If the Overguard will work with all Warframes in the game, then not only tank Warframes but also those glass cannon Warframes can benefit from this Overguard mod. The Helmet system offers an ability called Lycat's Hunt from Varuna that grants you a chance to drop health orbs per melee kill, and you can use this to abuse the new Reinforced Healing mod. Not only Nidus, Eros, or squishy Warframes can benefit, but also those meta Warframes that has pseudo-exalted melee such as Korra can benefit from this mod. In fact, it will fix my long-time problem of reliable survivability for Korra, as every time I kill enemies with my Whip Claw, I can drop health orbs with Lycat's Hunt paired with Pilfering Strangled Dome. This means that I can abuse the Overguard of the Reinforced Healing mod, giving my Korra the perfect survivability for long hours of farming in Steel Path and beyond levels. If this mod will be in the game, then expect that Orgaze Nidus, Lycat's Hunt Korra, or any other setup that pairs well with Varuna's Subsume ability will be hard to kill with the Overguard mod. Not to mention that we also have the companion trick with the mod called Synth Deconstruct that forces enemies to drop health orbs when killed. While it's a good option, but the activation chance is steeper compared to having something like Lycat's Hunt. Also, I should mention that another farming Warframe that will benefit from this is Necros. Like I have said in my previous farming video, Necros received indirect buffs in the past that allows the Warframe to retain his top spot at my loot frame rankings. Again, if the Overguard mod will be in the game after the next big update, then Necros will be upgraded again with high survivability. After the update, the Warframe will be a super tank with insane damage reduction on health using adaptation plus health conversion and the Shield of Shadow augment. And then you will have constant Overguard, which gives you another layer of health and status immunity. Honestly, Overguard mechanic is not that broken as it's just an extra layer of health, but when you factor in the things you can add from this survivability setup, plus the status immunity, Overguard is a great tool not just for endgame levels, but also for progression, and I'm hoping and praying that this mod will somehow get into the Dante Unbound update. We are only a few weeks away from the update, and I'm really excited on what Digital Extremes have in store for us. But I would like to repeat again for the last time, take every other mod aside from the 10 confirmed augment mods with a grain of salt, as there are possibilities that Digital Extremes will remove it from their list of new things we can farm in the new Dante Unbound update. If somehow the mod is included, then it would be a blessing for all of us, as we can add more survivability in our setup or trim down some survivability in our build and allow us to min-max our mod setup for specific Warframe. Anyway, this is not the only thing coming with the new update, and the possible Universal Overguard mod is a small chunk compared to the huge quality of life improvement that Warframe will be receiving in Dante Unbound. I have covered almost everything that Digital Extremes will be enhancing in the Dante Unbound update, and you can check the video later by visiting the link I have provided in the video description below. The only thing that wasn't mentioned in that video is that the developer will be removing the Archon shard from the Call Garrison vendor, and they will add it to one of the Cavia Syndicate vendor. I think they will probably add it to Tagfer, and I'm really happy with this since I rarely do call mission nowadays. Running around with the green ear was fun for a couple of months, but it gets tedious and becomes a chore after years. I'm hoping that obsolete system in Warframe gets revitalized soon, but I'm happy with all the changes that the new team is making in Warframe right now. By the way, I almost forgot to add in this video about those players saying that Mag is laughing at my looter Warframe ranking video. Just a reminder that Mag is not exactly a looter Warframe. Her greedy pull is a Warframe augment mod that gives Mag's pull the ability to attract pickups towards herself. To make it clear, it pulls loot towards you and doesn't give you additional loot. I hope that is clear now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Also, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't to be updated on our latest uploads. By doing this, you also help our channel grow and continue to make content for you guys. Again, thank you so much for watching and supporting me throughout the years of of making content. Squad leader signing off.
This is the future.